My internet is very slow for some reason. Couldn't even get into the intro. Anyway, we're here. We're live.
Exactly.
Connection is unstable.
It's Thursday.
It is. It's Thirsty Thursday. And then your camera just dropped out. Now I can't hear you. Oh, you're muted.
My daughter's here with me, and she wants a hug. And I'm like, "Can you come back here just a little while?" I'm like,
I thought we were having technical difficulties.
Yeah, no, she's whispering shame.
For shame.
Shame. You know, from like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh, the Wi-Fi connection looks fine. I don't know what's going on here. I got shenanigans in my Wi-Fi. Anyway, so it's Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. Thirsty Thursday, so you know what that means.
Hell yeah.
New episode of the Mad Chatter. I am Jellyfish Comics, and this is my good buddy, J1 Bob. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good, man. Grilled out some steaks. Soaked in the hot tub for a little bit, man. I tell you what, it's the life. Like everybody else is still in the hot tub, so I had to get out and dry off and everything else so I could do the show.
You couldn't do a remote from the hot tub?
I won't lie, I thought about it, but then I thought about my teenage daughters and wife in bikinis on there, and I'm like, yeah,
maybe you don't want that going out live.
Right
to the world.
I don't mind myself, people lusting after me, but I just don't need it for them.
So let's see who's Will Albright. We will get into it, Will. David Reese, how are you, buddy? He was doing some funny stuff on Monday in the auction.
Oh yeah.
Would you rather do this or smash the like button? It was good. We got Joker.
I'd rather smash that like button.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't even any close ones. So it wasn't even a second to think about. So what's going on this week? Anything?
I came back from a con that I had this weekend. It's the Oklahoma Alliance of Fans. They call it OFCon. It's one of the oldest cons that's been going. It's been going since the 70s, and it's not major.
How big was it? Was it just like in a conference room at a hotel, or?
A huge conference room at a hotel.
Okay.
There were roughly, I'll say probably 100 vendors. People travel for this one.
That's a good size.
Like my comic shop was there. Bedrock City Comics was there. Like people actually travel big time for this one. The other major Comic Con we have, which is Uncanny Comic Con and New World Comic Con, those don't get anywhere near the traveling guys. But like this one is like you see some just amazing stuff, like tons and tons of golden age stuff and silver age, like masterpiece freaking keys, X-Men ones and all sorts of stuff. Like it's just like I had a hell of a time. And unlike a lot of them, trades are accepted.
So, what'd you bring to trade? What'd you walk out with?
I traded a Green Lantern number 375 from 1960 and a Strange Tales 169 First Brother Voodoo 6.5.
Okay, those ought to get you a handful of good books.
It did. So some of the stuff I got, I've actually sold a good hunk of it already. But like this is probably the humdinger of them all. The ASM 194 newsstand.
Yeah.
Yeah. First Black Cat. It's like a 9294. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, I'd have that on its way to CGC.
And I really wanted to, but I have certain buyers that always buy my best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a hard time telling them no because they pay me good money.
Yeah. That would go into my PC slab.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm happy with this. This is not a big book, right? Mm-hmm. But it is 9.8 freaking all day long. So this is going to go to that McFarlane signing.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, like that one was beautiful.
Emilio!
And then the steal of the trip. Now, these are already sold, so I'm going to take names off, okay? Mm-hmm. But the steal of the trip, of course, were the Wolverine sets that I got. Wolverine 1, 2, 3, 4, all near mint, all signed by Claremont and Frank Miller.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible.
That was that one, and then the continuous run. The continuous run, which was Wolverine 1 through 5, the Claremont run, all signed by Claremont.
Yeah,
like I got all of that together on a big trade, and I was I was very happy with those. Those were awesome. But they've already,
besides the two,
they didn't even make it at night.
How much cash did you have to part with?
So the 2 books, and then I parted with 800 altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I think 800.
That's not too bad, considering what you got.
Because I got, like, this is like the amazeballs for me. Yeah. Showcase 55. First Silver Age appearance of Solomon Grundy.
Yep.
I mean, that right there. And I mean, it's a 6.5, and it is freaking just gorgeous.
Oh, looks like an 8.5.
It does.
It presents nice.
The spine is what takes it down so much.
Yeah.
But the colors on it are beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Dude, those Golden Age colors just...
Yeah.
Something about them. They just stand the test of time.
True story.
I love the purples and the reds and the greens just pop so much. And
then some other good stuff too. Mm-hmm. Like lower end stuff. I got a Illuminati, first She-Venom, a bunch of other stuff too. But another Secret Wars set. Man, it was just a great. It was like I saw some major keys that I really wanted to trade for. I took some really big stuff to trade, but ended up about an 8.5 Fantastic 452 First Black Panther.
Yeah.
Raw, ungraded, and it was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I really wanted it. And I offered him a trade for the Fantastic Four #1 Golden Record.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to trade, but it ended up being a consignment book.
Oh.
So he called the guy that he was selling it for to try to get him to give him a deal for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was going to be buying it from him instead.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you can't give him a piece of the record.
Right?
Yeah.
And he said I couldn't talk him down enough to make it right. And I was like, I get it. It's fine. I'll keep this. I mean,
it's not an awful thing to have an
yeah,
FF1 gold record.
Right. I mean, that's not a terrible book to have. I mean,
yeah.
I'm good with that. Oh, and then this is one I rarely ever see. I have to take the name off again.
Yeah.
That McFarlane Spawn 230.
Mm-hmm.
He had the black and white sketch one too.
Yep.
But it was $2,000 as opposed to $250.
Yeah. Damn, $2,000 is a lot for that book, though, too.
I agree. But if you go and look at the comps for what it's sold for in high grade, which it was probably a 9.8 contender.
Yeah.
I've seen the 9.8 sell for. Well, I've seen the colors signed by McFarlane, which that was kind of like what I thought about doing, was getting it to send them the McFarlane signing.
Yeah.
Like for $2,000.
Yeah.
Let alone the black and white sketch.
Yeah. Why do those 200 print runs have to be so low?
Right.
There's so many good covers in there.
Oh.
Well,
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm tired, but like for the first time in a while, man, my legs aren't swollen, my feet aren't looking like fucking what's it called?
Elephantitis.
Yeah.
You don't got hooves.
Dude, my ankles don't look like there's softballs in them. Like I feel like a what's the blood sugar thing?
Diabetes?
Yeah, I feel like the diabetic patient almost.
Yeah.
With the leg swelling and everything else.
Well, the leg swelling, so you look like a heart failure patient. Like the right side of your heart is failing, but it's just venous stasis.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just my veins not letting my blood flow proper because there's be a clot.
Proper like. Well, so I thought we could talk about exclusives.
Dude,
what's going on in the market?
Super stoked about that one.
So now you have previously had deals with comic shops that do exclusives. You know,
I mean, I don't know about.
I don't think
I don't know about all exclusives, but I mean, I know this one exclusive that's just beautiful and amazing that people should pick up. Cover of Darkness #1. If you don't have any of these, you should reach out to either Jellyfingers Comics or J1 Bob Comics and see about getting some of these, because these exclusives, fuck the rest of them, but these right here, these Gorkum Demir, beautiful artwork right here. Yeah, you should get these. Sorry. Had to, brother.
Shameless plug.
It is a bit of a shameless plug, I know.
That's all right. So, but in the past, you have had deals with comic shops, getting exclusives at discounted prices and things like that.
Yes.
It's nice for a shop to have copies sold, even at a discount. They're still making money, and they're moving product. And there's, 15, 20 less copies that they have to worry about. So
yeah, I buy what they call it is they call it a dealer special.
Yeah.
And I had arrangements with a handful of comic shops, and I would get between 5, 10, or 20 copies of an exclusive that they'd done at like $2 or $3 above cost.
Mm-hmm.
And then in exchange for that, I'd sell them and I would shout out their company and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
It's a good deal for everybody involved.
Yeah.
And you're selling them usually at or less than the same price you could get buying them from.
Oh, I sell them for less. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're passing on your savings to your customers.
Yeah,
so,
I sell them for less than they fucking sell them for. It's funny.
Yeah. So, which is great for everybody. You make a couple bucks, somebody saves a couple bucks, and everybody's happy. So that being said, little inside baseball there for you, but what is going on with those companies now? Would you say, in your estimate, are they putting out the same number of exclusives? Have they cut way down? Are they even doing them anymore? Are they even still in business?
So yes, no. Okay. To be honest, everybody knows that the big companies that are pretty much too big to fail are still turning them out. Yes. Like that Spider-Man booth.
Yes,
Comix Elite.
Comix Elite are still putting out a crazy amount.
Comix Exposure. I mean, there's a handful of companies out there that are so big that and did so well, right? They're not going to fail out.
Sure. And people like Comix Elites they're not doing the 3,000 print runs anymore. They're mostly sticking to the indie publishers that are requiring smaller print runs.
And when they're doing the Marvels and the DCs, they're partnering up now with other places.
Sharing the costs with other comic shops. So they're buying the 3,000 print run, but they're going between 5-6 guys and saying, I want 500. You can have 500.
Let me break it down for people so people understand how this works. Do you mind?
No, please, Professor.
So I know all about these. I've done 2 exclusives myself. Jelly and me did our own. It was Cover of Darkness by Gorkum Demir. Great book, honestly. And honestly, if anybody really is looking for one, hit us up. That's a shameless plug. I don't mind. I won't do it again. Swear to goodness. But so the way exclusives work, right? Different publishing companies require different publishing counts, minimum purchase, right? Marvel and DC are 3,000 print run. Now you can do 1,000 trade, 1,000 minimal trade, and 1,000 virgin, but you still have to have a minimum of 3,000 copies.
Yep.
Now you pay as the purchaser $4 a book for a standard non-cardstock book. If you want it to be cardstock, you add $1. If you want it to be foiled, you add $2. If you want a metal, you add $20. I mean, there's lots of different variations in there. And if you want like different colorings, like this one's a black and white, and then you have a color version, right? That's called what they call a plate change. So they actually have to change the plate for the printing press for a variation. And they charge for that. So there's the plate fee.
They charge about $200 for that.
Yeah, standard plate fee is between $200 and $300 depending on the publisher. And certain publishers, you have to use their artists or their approved artists. You can't just take Joe Schmo and say, hey, I want to do a comic book and I love how he draws and I want to do him, because they ain't going to agree to it 99% of the time. Hence why myself and Jelly's good friend, Mr. Gorkum Demir, has yet to get his Marvel exclusive. He will. I have faith.
In America.
In the United States. Yep. Is yet to get a Marvel exclusive in the U.S. because he's not on their approved lists yet.
They have,
even though he's done close to 50 plus.
But they have very strict requirements. You have to have a portfolio sent to them, and it's got to have so many different things in the portfolio. You can't just be faces. It can't, they have to see bodies and hands and feet and
backgrounds. I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Yes, cityscapes, everything. I mean, it's quite a thing.
With the independent companies, some of them will do print runs as low as 250. Actually, there's one that will do 100 print run, and that's the Alaska company. What's it called? Oh
goodness. Yeah.
They do the I give up. Anyways, I give up. But like images 500. Who does a lot of the Department of Truth and all those? Is it Image?
Yeah.
But so that's why you see so many different ones for these independent companies, because Joe Blow and Jellyfinger and J1 and Bob Comics can afford to do an exclusive, because we're only have to doing 250 copies minimum. So for us, we did, and I'm just using ours as an example, I'm not trying to sell it here, guys. We did 250 trade dress, 100 virgins, and 40 metals, which are virgins also. So we did a 290 count print run. We had to do one plate change between the virgin and the other.
Yep.
And then we had to pay $20 plus on the additional printing fees for the times 40 for the 40 different metals. It's a very expensive process, especially when you get into different variations of stuff. It really is. Yeah. You've got to really sell, not out, but really well, just to break even.
Yeah.
When you price them reasonably.
Yes. Now you can't, to keep your prices low.
Yeah.
And I say low meaning, $10, $15 a trade and, $20, $25 for a virgin. You've got to sell more than half to kind of break even.
Sorry, kid again.
Yep.
But the marbles, man, those are store killers if they don't work. Yeah, Lucian, they're in grading right now, buddy. They are in grading right now, just to let you know.
Yeah, thanks, CGC. So fast.
They should be any day now. It'd be my guess.
They've only been there 6 months now.
Yes, but the marbles will kill you if you're a small store and you try and do it yourself.
If you try to undertake a marble, so you're going to have to use one of their artists, which is going to be a premium fee. You're going to be looking at $2,000 probably, depending on who it is, just for the art alone.
Yep.
And then you're going to be looking, you're going to be into it for $10,000.
Easy.
Just for the books and art and things like that's not shipping anything. That's not, any of that stuff. So, it could really sink a shop if they get in, spread a little thin on a couple different exclusives. I'm not sure that, everybody knows selling new comic books is a pretty razor thin margin. A lot of comic shops
man.
make most of their money on their back stock.
The what's funny, honestly, is New Comic Book Day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just I'll air it out for everybody out there. Most comic shops pay half price for new comic books and then sell them at sticker price, right? List price, the price that's on the cover, right? Cover price. So they buy 20 copies of Edge of Spider-Verse #4, which just came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
They paid $2 a piece for them, $40. If they sell all 20 copies, they sold them for $80, right?
Yeah.
After they pay taxes and fees and everything else, they only make like $15 off of 20 comic books being sold.
Yeah.
So
that ain't gonna keep the lights on,
right? That's where exclusives really came from. That was a comic shop's way to control
increasing their margins.
Yes, their profit margins.
Yep.
It's huge. I mean, and the first exclusive came out in 1990, 1991.
Let me look it up. I feel like it was 90,
maybe a little bit later than that, but
let's say maybe 92.
But so because there's such a low markup on comics, right? I mean, they either got to sell a lot or they got to find another revenue stream. That's why you see so many comic shops now selling trading cards, toys, and all this other stuff, right? Because they have to find a way to have a little bit of a markup so they can make some money. To be honest, that was one of the reasons why Marvel and DC started with ratios. The ratio was the gift to the comic shop. That's their retailer incentive, right? They buy 15, 25, 100, 200, 500 copies of this book, and they get this amazing book that they can sell for a lot of money.
Yeah. Side note, do you know what the first variant was?
I used to. I know. As soon as you say it, I'm going to be like, yep, that's it. It was like a Superman or something.
Yeah, absolutely. The Man of Steel.
Yeah.
#1 in 1986. The John Byrne book.
Yep. That was the first variant.
First variant cover.
Yep. And then
so
the first, and then
since 1986, what has changed? So we've moved into variants, then we moved into ratio variants, then you moved into exclusives,
and
the market was at a fervor, but I think now we're at the turning point. It feels like.
Dude, exclusives really started building up, I'll say around 2015 or 16. I want to say they were really starting to get more popular.
Yeah, I'd say I remember first seeing them, I'll say like 2011 is kind of when I felt like it kind of started popping up and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like they did their own thing, and then, I would say 15, 16, they really started hitting it. And then probably by, say 2018, I mean, there wasn't hardly a shop around that didn't have an exclusive.
No, exactly. And then, well, hell, dude, the epidemic locking everybody in the house for freaking a year.
Yeah,
man. I mean, dude, exclusives were the fucking mamma jamma.
Oh yeah, I mean, people were hungry for
exclusives. They were paying more for exclusives than they were for cover A's, like
absolutely,
of keys and stuff like that. I mean, one of my I'll just fucking just straight up show it. It's one of my favorites for a book that I truly love. It is, where did it? Hold on. Oh, I hung it on the wall. I hung it on the wall. That's why. So I love Spider-Gwen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Gwen and Silk are my mamma jammas.
Mm-hmm.
But I love this. This is by I think I said her name right. Yep, Saya
Mm-hmm.
And just a beautiful little freaking exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
It was limited to like 1,000 print run or 2,000 print run or something like that. And then there's a black and white sketch variant of this too.
Yep.
These were going. The black and white is still going for a fortune. But this cover right here, right, was going for 800 plus. Easy. Yep. Right? And Edge of Spider-Verse, Gwen Stacy. I mean, now you can find these for $600.
Yeah.
They got up over 1,000, honestly, at one point. But I don't know if they were actually selling at that price. These themselves, I just love the art. And that's the whole point of exclusives, right? Is you're getting an artist's rendition of a new cover, right? That's not, the one that's being sent everywhere around the freaking world, right?
Well, and I'll be honest, my draw to exclusives, and I don't buy very many exclusives at all, is if it's an artist I really like, or if it's somebody, it's like a Venom cover or something, you're like, I'd love to see what Gorkum Demir would do with the Venom cover. And then somebody's got one. Well, I'm going to, chances are I'm going to buy it because I love Gorkum's art.
True.
So that's kind of where I am with exclusives. Personally, I've bought and sold a lot of exclusives. For as many as I own, I'm not sure if I have any store exclusives in my personal collection at all.
You've got a few Gorkums.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, that's correct. I do.
Yeah, I know you
but
got a few Gorkums.
I'm just thinking, besides Gorkum, I don't think I have any by any other artist. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've got a lot of Todd McFarlane variants.
I have tons of Scotty Youngs.
Yeah, got a lot of Scotty Youngs.
But now here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Some Scotty Youngs are variants.
Sure.
He doesn't do store exclusives with the exception of his own store.
Right.
So he'll do his own store exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, the biggest part of the big money Scotty Youngs are ratio incentives.
Yeah.
Like the 1 in 50 Deadpool run the jewels.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 in 15 shirtless bear fighter.
Yep.
Of course, what if Venom Deadpool? That'll but that's literally, that's not a store exclusive. That was a off the rack book.
Yep.
Cost $3.99.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a 9.8 of it is $600 just because of its art.
Yep.
But the thing we were talking about big time, guys, was people are just about exclusived out, it feels like.
I could not agree more. I mean, there was a time where I called it my circuit, where I would go at night when I get home from work. I'd go through, I had a folder of bookmarks in my browser that I would go through these shops to see what exclusives they had, like what they had dropped this week, and seeing if they had a premium artist, and you'd grab a couple copies of a premium artist and you'd hope to God they sell out, and then you'd flip them the next week. Those days are over. First of all, exclusives.
There hasn't been a big flip exclusive.
No.
With the exception of the Super Mario Brothers of 8 Billion Genies, there has not been a big one blown up in about a year. Now, the 8 Billion Genies one, you can get a 9.8 of it for like $800.
Right, but that book also would not have got any attention had 8 Billion Genies not been optioned.
True.
It wasn't because of, it's like, shit, I didn't get a number one. Well, I can grab a store exclusive because you're selling out of those. Because did 8 Billion Genies get optioned before it came out, or was it?
No, it was after. So it was after issue 1, but before issue 2.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was either like really close to when the first issue came out. But then again, and there are still those opportunities where you see a book get optioned or picked up by a studio, and you can go scoop up store exclusives because they're not selling out anymore. There is no demand for 45 different variants on one comic book.
True. Like Berserker, The Last Ronin. Both of those are non-Marvel, right?
Yeah.
And both of those had over 50 covers.
Yep.
Over 50 covers.
And of course, there's some cool ones. When you do 50 different versions of something, there are going to be some cool ones in there.
Yeah. Like the Aaron Bartling Last Ronin #1. I have no idea. I have no idea how or why. It still sells for $2,000. I would love that explained to me, how a brand new comic by a new artist sells for more than a high-grade Silver Age key first appearance of a Marvel character. I don't get that.
This is a good example because this is a book from 2020.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. Okay, so the Aaron Bartling's expensive. Cool cover. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to try to.
Are you looking at The Last Ronin right now?
Yeah. So I'm trying to find one that was a very recognizable. One that everybody got. Maybe the Matina one.
The Matina one was very popular. Honestly, my favorite cover was the Hal Laren.
Oh, you know which one? The Kale New. That was that's
another popular,
good one. Miko Swain was a good one. Let's see. That one's still going for $100, it looks like. Yeah. Let's see. We'll say the Kale New, limited to 500 virgin. Selling for 55. Let me pull up the numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did I grab? Oh, there we go. See sales data. So came out, was selling for $100.
Yeah, but I think when they released it, they were like $29.99.
Yes, right. So $30. This is raw. So $30 they were selling for $100. Let's see if we've got any recent sales data on it. No, there is not. Let's look at it slabbed. Oh, well, there was a 9.9. So that goes for $450. That's not surprising. But a lot of these exclusives, anyway, this was going to be my foray into the exclusives and getting them slabbed. So if you pull up some of the biggest from 2020, some of the bigger store exclusives, and you'll see a lot of times they sold from anywhere from $20 to $30. And people would buy several copies of it if they were able to, and then send them in to get slabbed. Well, if you were lucky or you spent the extra money and fast-tracked it, you'd get your book back in a month, and there'd still be enough heat on it where you could flip it for a little bit of money. But if you were unlucky and it got stuck in there for 6 months, and you came back with a 9.8 of this book that was going for $200, now it's selling for $50, and you're underwater in it, paying $30 for it, and then another $30 to get it slabbed, you're already underwater.
Exactly.
So that was happening to a lot of people during those times. And if you look at those books, what they're selling for now, I mean, you're just wasting your money by getting them slabbed. And especially in today's market right now. It's so raw heavy. People aren't buying slabs, which I'll never understand that.
The only way, so as a constant seller of comics, the only time I'm selling slabs are when I'm offering them for 20% or more below fair market value.
Right.
I mean, honest to God. Like, I am unable to move them. Doesn't matter how hot they are or anything like that. I just can't move them because they're just not selling. But if I have that same book in that same quality and that same grade, raw, right? They'll pay me half the price of the slab price for that raw book.
Yes. Or more. There was a few months stretch there, not too long ago, where people were paying mid-grade
slab
prices for raws.
Yes.
And I don't know if it was a product of the economy overall, where people were trying to kind of get lucky by getting a high-grade raw, and thinking, well, I could pay $900 for this mid-grade, but if I get a high grade, it's $2,000. So it's like, I already know I'm going to get a mid-grade with the mid-grade slab I would buy, but maybe I could get a higher grade with and people don't understand a cleaning and a press will do wonders for a book presentation wise, but you're not going to have a book that looks like a 6.5 that cleans up to a 9.8.
No.
I mean, it's just, the most you could hope ever getting out of a book, and that is with a very, very, very talented, you almost need a restorationist level, like Smithsonian level, to get 2 grades out. So
that's fair.
Then, like Pete said, and part of it is not trusting grading services. Because
that's true too.
As we have seen, they have continued to be the turd in the puddle. Their reputation shot. They don't get books out quickly. I mean, it's at the point where it's now, instead of getting something graded, to encapsulate it and save it in its current form so no other damage can happen to it, it's more worth it just to go buy the cases from Amazon, or buy top loaders, for that matter. Yeah, that bad boy needs to get slabbed for sure. But we're not talking about blue chip books here.
You do need to send that to me, Lucian.
Yeah. So,
but it's, to be real honest, if you, it's not a bad game to go out, buy a raw book, put a little money into it, getting it cleaned and pressed, and sending it in to get graded. Because you can make, like, honest to God, I know guys that's all they do. They buy raw comics, they clean them and press them, and then they grade them, and they sell them for tidy little profits, because in high grade, those older books bring big money.
Well, there was a time, and this is kind of when I started cleaning and pressing books. I'll say it was about 7 or 8 years ago. There was a time when I was making enough money doing that I got my PC. I was able to buy a lot of PC books that I had never thought I would be able to.
True story.
And buying low grade silvers and golds and spending time on those, getting them presentable, and paying like reader copy prices for those, like beat up copy prices, and getting them to a 2.5 or 3, and then selling those slabbed at a 2.5 and a 3. I mean, it was a good racket for a while. Now I don't think that case.
It doesn't work as well in the lower grade and the mid grade stuff. Now, like on the higher grade, like if you buy a raw VF, right? Like you can get a raw VF for about 1/3 the price of a 9.0 normally.
Yeah.
Put some money into it, some time, and you can double up a lot. That's why I have a harder time selling some of my bigger raws, because I know what they can turn into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's nothing like getting a raw book, finding a really crispy copy of a raw book, and you're just like, you know what, if I had the time, I could turn this, this could really be a big book. But then you're like, someone sees you got the copy and they're like, hey, I'll give you this, you're like, you know what? A bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. So you got it.
Oh, true story, man.
Because
so my Swamp Thing 37, I bought that as a VF, right? It was, I think the guy called it a VF plus copy. Mrs. Presser pressed it and cleaned it, got a 9.6.
Yeah.
I wish we'd gotten the 9.8. I still want a 9.8 of that book. I may never get a 9.8 of that book, but gosh damn it, I still want one. But First John Constantine and a 9.6, and I think we paid $225 for the book raw. And now that book in the 9.6 is like $700 to $800.
Oh,
and it's going up because of the new John Constantine move.
Yeah, as I say, I think I was looking at 9.6s, 9.8s not too long ago, and I mean they were up $1,200.
Yeah. But older stuff, I think the 1960s stuff, I think it does better raw, especially when it's mid-grade or lower.
Yeah, well, I would say you've probably got more experience selling those things than I do, so you might be right.
That's just from personal experience.
Yeah, I'd say you sell a lot more often than I do, but I've always had better luck with mid-grade raws.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, not that great, but looks nice.
We got off track again. We were going to talk about how exclusives were costing store owners their companies.
Ah, yes.
Like we were actually literally going to go into that, and I think we got sidetracked again. Damn it.
I mean, what's new? It's kind of our thing, I guess.
No, I'm going to badmouth a little bit because, well, he deserves it. But I had a guy that I worked with and bought from and done business with for years, right? Years. And out of nowhere, turned off his Facebook, turned off his Instagram, turned off his Messenger, cut everything out, cut everybody off. And you're talking a guy that, I have pre-orders with.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars of pre-orders. Well. Yeah, you too. Sorry for bringing you to him. Back. Yeah. But there was no way for us to get a hold of him. He was a comic book company out of California.
Yeah.
That done quite a few successful exclusives. William Albright might have said his name.
I mean, had a lot of exclusives.
Yeah.
And a lot of
successful ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was teaming up with 4 other LCSs, and they were doing successful on Marvel and DC's. Even.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have top tier artists, but they had really nice up and coming artists that were doing very quality covers.
But here's what happened. The exclusive market was folding and they weren't cutting back.
Yeah,
they were still getting more and more.
Yeah.
And then
they were yeah.
Oh, yeah. But then like they were offering like 10 copies of my exclusive for, $5 each or what, like just to move them, right? Just to get their money back out of them almost.
Yep.
And I mean, that's when you're like, wow, exclusives are really starting to.
I mean, it's I've noticed it for months because during the pandemic, like we said, I mean, you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting an exclusive. I mean, everybody was doing them.
God,
so, and we did one, these 2 chuckleheads here did one. So, I mean,
but ours is sexy.
I mean, ours is good. That's the only difference. But we also didn't put ourselves in a financial position to start getting 5 exclusives going, assuming the first one's going to sell out and we're just going to be, these exclusive.
If you're going to do an exclusive, right? Anybody out there, if you're listening, if you ever decide you want to try to do an exclusive, let me tell you 3 secrets. Secret number 1, do an independent comic.
Yeah.
Secret number 2, find yourself an amazing artist that you love the art of. Okay. Mm-hmm. You have to love his art. And secret number 3, make sure that every penny you put into it, you can wave goodbye to.
Yep.
And that is the truth.
For the cost of doing that, and we haven't made much money on these things, and the real fun was the whole process. Like just going through and learning about the process and seeing Gorkum bring your idea to reality. It was just a lot of fun.
That was so much fun.
And it's really cool to have a comic with your name on it. And you're like, I did it.
Forever and always.
Forever and always, guys.
Yeah.
Let me show you something.
Yep.
Jellyfish Comics and J1 of Bob Comics exclusive
are part of the CGC census.
Yeah.
Forever.
I mean, you can literally look us up now.
Yeah, we're pretty much
there.
A pedigree at this point.
Yeah. But that's still a sexy cover right there.
Yeah, I thought medals look so good.
Dude, the medals are just fucking amazing.
I actually love the back as well.
Dude, the back is with it subdued.
Yeah.
All the front cover art subdued behind us.
Yeah, I like the way that looks. Yeah.
Anyways, we're not selling, guys. We're just talking about personal experiences and using ours as an example, just so you know.
So, one unnamed comic book store has, from what I can tell, gone out of business.
Yeah.
That's just one. Everybody else that saw the signs that were doing a lot of
For Pete's Soxay, have extra staples and an acetate.
And let the artist take your wife.
Right?
It's part of the contract, apparently. So I already lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Did you die?
A little bit.
You know, you're supposed to drink it, not breathe it.
Well, I took a sip and it just kind of went down the wrong pipe because I laughed at the same time.
Yeah. So, but there was a lot of people that saw the signs of this kind of exclusive collapse when, you know,
the only exception for that I've seen for the last year was like the Whatnot exclusives, and because it was the new shiny object.
It was, well, I mean, one of the big things is the seller's names was on the back.
Yep, I agree.
So, I mean, that was a nice gimmick, you know, and
they gave all the sellers copies.
Yes. And
although they gave different amounts to different people.
Yeah, well, whatever. I got mine.
I understand. I would have liked. So I really wanted a foil.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the one I wanted. I wanted to have, like, I went all in multiple times in auctions trying to get a foil because it said J1 of Bob Comics on the fucking back. I mean, honest to God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I could never get one. The closest I came to getting one was I was like $900 deep in an auction, and the guy just kept going. And I'm like, I can't. I'm done. I'm not meant to have a fucking foil that has my name on it. But, you know, I mean, that's just how it works.
I just want to see how much they're going for now.
Well, they're still going, like, so only the very first Kirkham is still going for good money. All the rest of them, no.
Yeah, here's one for 3,000 or best offer.
Yep.
Here's a 1,500 or best offer. $3 or best offer. Yeah, I'll get one eventually when it comes back down to reality.
Yeah.
But
I'll probably never be able to afford the foil.
Yeah. I mean, once Whatnot goes belly up and everybody forgets about it.
It's the new shiny object of the day.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to remember. Did I get the Omni-Man?
You should have got the Omni-Man and the girl.
I don't think
you got the set. I remember.
Did I?
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember it.
I only got trades of them, of the Girl and Omni-Man. Some people got trades in Virgins. Some people got that. See, this was the only thing I didn't like about it, right?
Yeah.
It depended on who you were.
Yeah.
And how big you were as a social influencer was how many comics you got. I mean, as much as I love John Paul George over at freaking that Spider-Man booth,
yeah,
JPG, dude, I feel like he got way over half of the foil Tyler Kirkham #1.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they were constantly auctioning them.
Yeah.
And he was doing it dirty, where he'd have like, I hate to say it dirty, but he'd have like 5 of them. He'd have 40 mystery bags.
Yeah.
You were guaranteed to get a trade, a sketch, a virgin, or one of the 5 foils. There were 5 foils out of 40. And these things were going for $900,000.
Yeah, first day.
Almost all of them. So you got to think, he sold, like, I'm going to be real honest, I think he did like $35,000 in sales with those 40 mystery bags.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me at all.
Emmy, how you doing, brother? But
what's up, Bo?
He got all those because I think he got all those because I think he brought Tyler Kirkham to Whatnot.
I mean, they have a good relationship, so
yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked one bit if he did facilitate that.
Yeah, that's just my guess.
Yeah, I absolutely would side with that, thinking that's probably exactly what happened.
And man, JPG, make your fucking money, brother. I ain't mad. I jelly. That's the difference. I'm jelly and he's jelly. We're both jelly right now.
Yeah. I mean, if I would have I'd have asked for the same thing. If I put that deal together, I'd have been like, I want 40 copies of this. So
yeah. But like nowadays, man, you buy an exclusive from a store. It's hot for maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah, maybe.
And then it starts like, look at all those Department of Truths.
Yeah.
All those amazing.
And they were good too. But there was, I mean, yeah, once they hit about number 8 or 9, I mean, there was 30 variants of every issue.
Every one. And dude, some of them were like, I'll be honest, guys, I made quite a bit of money selling like the rock variants.
Yeah.
The Kurt Cobains, the Jimi Hendrix. And I wouldn't buy a bunch of them. I'd pick up 2 or 3 on release and sell them. Same way with Something's Killing the Children.
Yeah.
Right? But now, man, it doesn't matter how hot it is or how sexy the cover is. I think people have finally started to wisen up and they're like, yeah.
That reminds me, I was going to look. That's another good point.
Oh, I do. Nino Camarata, I love, dude. He did do some of the best covers for Department of Truth.
There are some artists that I've only seen that have done store exclusives. And I love them. Or like they'll only do con exclusives.
Yep.
And I wish I want to see more from them. Okay, let's see.
Now, see, here's the thing. Here's the difference. I'm more into con exclusives than I am store exclusives.
So there's something. So con exclusives, you almost have to be there. almost.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a lot harder to come by. Okay, so let's see.
And most con exclusives sell out right there at the con.
Yes.
I see better return on value because the comic says New York Comic Con, Mega World Comic Con. Like I see better return on value and better holding of value because of those. The SDCC exclusives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
the Emerald Cities, all those are.
Yeah.
They
Banana
have nice,
Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's still, that's what, 3 years ago? Still big money.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, but that's such a good cover, though.
I don't disagree. The Venom number 3, the San Diego Comic Con, it looks like Venom. It looks just like the 4th print, but it's called the SDCC Previews Exclusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still goes for, dude, it's going for just as much as cover A, if not more.
So, okay, so Something Is Killing the Children, for instance. So there was, regardless whether it was a like key issue or anything, there was 30 to 40 variants.
Yeah.
So number 23, the one that came out in May before the break, no store exclusives of it. They just had the cover A, the Jenny Friesen covers that they've normally been doing.
Yep.
1 in 25 by In-Hyuk Lee, and then, the one per store as they usually do.
IDW, right? I love their new plans. Their plan is like, I am down with it. You want a store exclusive? Issue number 1 only.
Yeah.
They only offer store exclusives for issue number 1 of a storyline. That's it now.
That's awesome. I'm 100% behind that.
Like that right there, dude. When I heard that, I'm like, that is one genius, because if the story in the book is successful, that means their printings of number 2 and 3 and 4 and all that are going to be that much more elusive and that much more ordered. But it's still going to give a comic shop a huge exclusivity because, hey, you can only get issue 1 with blah, 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 blah artist or whatever, right?
So let's just say a comic shop. Let's say Comix Elite does 10 exclusives a month.
I think that number's low.
Oh, it for sure is. But I'm just saying that for the sake of, they do they do 3 to 5 a week.
Yeah.
So, let's say they do 10 a month. How many of those do you think they sell out of those 10? And
maybe one.
People buying single issues of it, not stuff they throw in and bundle with stuff to get rid of.
Yeah. So let's be real. If it's a Marvel, they're not selling it out in the month.
Right.
If it's an indie where they've got a 250 to a 500 count print run.
So chances are, if they do a Do You Poo, that's probably going to sell out.
Absolutely.
Now, so are they selling? Let's say that Do You Poo is selling on eBay for $20. What people got to remember, Comix Elite isn't making $200 on that. They're selling it out for $25 a copy.
Yep.
So they're only making 25. It's the secondary market that's making all the money.
Absolutely.
So you have people are like, whoa, but they made so much money on these exclusives. Well, not really. They made the same amount every time, no matter how big their exclusive was. Now, the only difference was how much stock they were stuck with. So, I mean, it's just, I think there's no drive anymore for the exclusive market. People are kind of sick of them. Like, yeah, it's a cool cover, but cover A is cool too. And I'm not going to spend $20 on cover A.
Oh, I
could
agree.
You imagine if Marvel and DC raised their prices to $20 and started offering versions for $40?
Well, what's the Lady Death, and then what's that? The Spider Girl one. Oh my goodness,
the Spider Girl.
She looks like Spider-Man, but she's female and wears a silver outfit. It's an independent.
Oh, God damn it! I almost said Scarlet Spider. Lady Death and
anyways,
White Widow.
White Widow.
Yeah.
Like, so those guys, what's crazy about them is that they're doing cover A, cover B, cover C, right, at cover price. But then they're putting out like a $9.99 foil and a $19.99 lenticular. Yeah, and a $75 foil or metal, and then they're doing like $100 glass.
Yeah,
I mean, and these are all direct from the publisher, right? So they're not really exclusives, but they're exclusive prices. That's cover price for these books.
White Widow is that Absolute?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can promise you Absolute is not bringing in a whole lot on coming out of the printers from the metals and stuff like that, because they are not big print runs.
No, I think all they're doing is like what's pre-ordered, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think they're doing their FOCs, right? Get your FOCs in, and that's how many they're printing, and that's how they're making their money.
Yeah.
Like they're doing store exclusives, right?
Yeah.
As
a publisher.
Yeah, at the publisher level, so they're not overprinting anything.
Yeah. And they're in the position
that's fucking ingenious.
It is. And I wish I knew what their print runs were for those White Widows. And what's the other one they do that's what is it? I Make Boys Cry or something like that.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Their other one. Yeah, something like that. But they have the same deal with that one. They have the the $20 covers.
Same business model.
Yeah, same business model, correct. So I'd be curious as to know what their profit margin is on doing it like that, because they're the only ones. Nobody else does it. Yeah.
And guys, like Cat 60 Comics, huge MadHouse member.
Yeah.
He's an LCS. He orders these books.
Yep.
And he sells them below cover price. Yep. Just a shameless plug for Cat 60 there. Well, I can, because I love the guy.
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
2 months away from brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Wish him the best of luck, man.
I don't know if we should have said that yet.
I'm pretty sure he said it on the show.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, I think pretty sure he was talking.
You three people that are still watching, don't tell anybody, okay?
No, I'm pretty sure he said it live. But it's not going to change what he does. He's just going to do it from a different spot. He's still going to be doing, his FOC Tuesdays. He's still going to be throwing books around like a madman. Hey, what's up, Corey?
How you doing, brother?
So,
no, dude. I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish him the best.
Like I think they have the correct business model for them. I think, but like an LCS couldn't do that really so well.
No. I think he's gonna be successful. I think it's gonna be great to have another LCS in the community. So, well, anything else you can think? Have we beat the exclusive stuff?
I don't think we beat them to death enough. So this is what I'm going to tell you guys, and I take this as a grain of salt. Okay. If you're buying an exclusive from the retailer at their price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Buy it because you love the cover and you love the art and you want to keep it.
Yeah.
Don't buy it because you think you're going to be able to sell it and make money on it. Because in right now's market, you aren't gonna.
No, you're
unless
not
it
buy it for 30,
up.
sell it for 40. Yeah, because chances are 99% of the time, whoever sees that book's just going to go to the seller's website and buy it for the same price you did. So,
right, because they're not selling out.
No, the exclusives are not selling out anymore. I mean, it's very rare. I can't even think of the last one that would have sold out. There are some things coming up, like John Tyler Christopher is going to be putting out exclusives that were only for pre-orders.
I like his ideas.
I like his idea too. And I like it from several different standpoints. Everybody that basically follows him, you can set notifications from his store. Every time he comes out with an exclusive, he's doing pre-orders, and that's all he's printing. So everybody...
he's doing a membership as well. That's how you're going to get Yeah.
So, but everybody that wants an exclusive is going to get one. Like they're not going to
no more bots buying them all out.
Yes.
Like no more bots buying them all out.
It's not like, before he'd put up an exclusive and then you get botted out in 3 seconds. As you're putting in your credit card information, they're sold out.
No, that's true, William. But I'm going to tell you right now, the only reason that thing sold out was because the Super Mario Brother 3 homage of 8 Billion Genies did so well.
Yeah. But I mean, there's going to be a lot of those like homages that are nostalgia based that they're going to do well.
Some just hit,
But if people start overdoing them, again, people are going to get tired of them. Because they're like, oh, geez, I loved Halloween, but I can't see another homage cover of Halloween, but excuse me.
You're good.
So that's kind of the market we're in right now. And it's, like Jay said, I mean, buy it because you love the art. You're not going to make any money selling it. If you decide to sell it at some point, you're going to lose a few bucks, but hopefully you've gotten your enjoyment out of it till that time. Slabbing them, again, only slab them for your own personal collection. You want to save them, because if you're going to pay expedited prices to get a book slab because it's hot right now, that's not going to work out majority of the time.
True story.
So, I mean, there are going to be those home runs every once in a while, but they're kind of the same as winning the lottery. It's just you don't know how a book's going to hit every time. That 8 Billion Genies just they timed that really well in between 1 and 2 to let them know that it had been picked up.
For those of you guys that know me, because most of you guys do, I sold 10 copies of that book.
Yep.
And I sold 5 of them for $17.50, which was less than what they charged in the store of $24.99 when they released them.
Mm-hmm.
I made a handful of dollars on each copy. That's, I mean, when I go out and when I do my deals with the other comic shops, right, and I get my like I say, a dealer's package, right? I take so many copies of a book. I give them very low, like it covers their cost with a little kick up for them. And then I bring them out to the market and sell them to you guys. Like I don't make a lot on them, but I'm able to give you guys like great purchases on freaking hot exclusives.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. And I don't play with the Marvel or the DC. I only do indie because they're so much more limited. Like normally a high print run for an indie is 500 copies.
Oh, that's, yeah, very high print run.
Like when you see an indie that gets 1,000 print run, that's ridiculous.
I mean, go to Comix Elite. You're going to see the majority of their print runs for their exclusives are 250 or 350. So, and that's a high volume retailer. So, just kind of goes to show you. Yeah, my leg itching. Well, have you got anything else, man? We're about an hour and a half in.
I know that's what we usually run for.
Yeah,
if I was going to say anything, you know, you guys keep collecting. You know, buy what you can when you can. Keep collecting and having fun. Because I mean, that's all this is about.
Yeah.
I love reading comics.
Yeah.
And I love collecting POC and I love PC and everything else. And getting those amazing books.
We got to get back to our once weekly book read that we talk about.
Yeah.
I miss that. I really enjoy reading a book and talking about it.
Yes, more records coming soon. It's my own fault, William. I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, we've got a few.
We actually have, right now, we have 4 records right here that, yeah. I fell asleep at the computer last night. I was supposed to send one to Jelly, and it did not happen because I fell asleep.
We will have one next week.
Yeah.
So, and I would say next week, I don't know, Superman?
I'm good with that.
Superman? Yeah, we'll do Superman next week. I haven't heard that one, but every Superman radio show I've ever heard, it's got some good voices.
Dude, that would be, I have a ton of that stuff too.
Oh, I've got lots of stuff. I've got one of my favorites, The Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to be able to do those. We just need
you like The Shadow, really?
I love The Shadow.
Do you know how many records of The Shadow I have?
Yeah. What lurks in the hearts of men?
The Shadow knows.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, dude.
Dude, what's his name? Did the freaking End of the World one. He was the voice of The Shadow. Oh my God.
Orson Welles.
Super famous radio voice.
Yeah, Orson Welles. I could see his
Orson
face.
Welles. Dude, yeah, he did the most of The Shadow, dude.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't listen to him live on the radio as a kid, right? But we would go whenever we took road trips. We would go either have lunch, dinner, or breakfast at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
And then my dad and mom would pick out a radio show from when we were kids, and we'd listen to that in the car on cassette tape.
Yeah,
I have some of the cassette tapes still, but I have a ton of the original records.
Yeah,
I love them.
If we could,
so good.
If I could figure out some video to put to, I would love to do those. To put to the records, I would love to do it.
Hello, Mrs. Presser. Did you hear her?
No. You might have cut out, or maybe it's my internet. I'm not sure.
She said fussy. Hi.
Oh, hey, Cams. How are you?
Oh, no, she fucking walked out.
Oh, of course she did. She ran and hid in the closet immediately.
Probably is. Oh, wait. Nope. She stick her head back in. Hi, honey. Wait,
hi,
here.
Mrs. Presser.
Here. Say hi.
Hi.
Oh. First appearance.
First cameo.
First cameo.
If I turn the camera around, if I try to turn the camera around, she will sprint before it ever happens.
Oh, you wouldn't even get your hand to the camera.
Yeah.
It'd be a cloud of dust and she'd be gone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we kind of got a plan for next week. We'll have another new radio or record. And then
new record, promise.
Yeah. So it's always fun sitting around and chopping it up with everybody. William, always good to see you around.
Oh, I enjoy this, man. This is
it's
as much fun as the auctions are.
Yeah.
This is more fun.
Yeah. I look forward to this every week. It's therapeutic.
Yeah. Cam's just said he'll ditch an auction, but he won't ditch this. As her and the kids were soaking in the hot tub, I'm in here on the show getting ready for this.
They're getting all pruny.
Yep.
So, all right, brother. Well, shall we bid fair adieu till next week?
I'm all for it.
Okay. So, I liked your little last thing. Keep collecting. Have fun.
That's the thing, man. Read the books, have the fun. I know a lot of guys that just buy them to sell them, right?
Yeah,
and that's okay. I mean, I get that. I understand that too. But man, inside those things, some of them have some really fucking good stories.
Yeah, I'm with William on this one. So I recommend, William, let's decide on a book that's coming out next week. We'll all read it. We'll talk about it and remember why because you kind of the business of comics kind of burns you out. You get a little tired of it, the drama, the this and that,
Yeah, but then you're going to have to get William Albright to read a comic.
Yeah, well, and
that's right, William. I'm looking at you. I'm singling you out.
Remember why. Let's do that so we remember what brought us into this to begin with.
Are there any good number ones coming out next week?
That's a good question. Let's.
Number ones are always more fun to talk about.
I agree. I like starting with the beginning of a story arc. I mean, I'm okay with a good number two that was. Let's see.
Dot.
Next week's the 28th. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's look on.
Nothing too obscure because I won't be able to get it here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, I figured we'll see what's starting with. See if there's a new run starting. Man, I think it is my internet.
What's that? What's our Halloween special? We haven't decided on it yet.
Oh, it's going to be big though.
Yeah,
that I promise you. Where is my future keys? I can at least. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see what's coming out the 28th. Marvel Voices. Pink Lemonade. Nope. Okay, Flawed number 1, image book. A psychiatrist uses words to solve her patient's problems during the day, but at night takes a more deadly approach which results in attracting the attention of an immortal serial killer. Interesting. How about the roadie from Dark Horse? A former heavy metal roadie must return to the back roads of America to do the job he thought he'd retired from, performing exorcisms. But this time, it is to save his daughter. We've got AWA, Jin #1. After his master sets him free, a hard-drinking foul-mouthed genie spirals into an existential crisis until he falls for a girl who gives his life meaning. Old Dog #1 from Image. On the eve of retirement, looking back at a failed career, a former CIA operative is tasked with one final mission that goes horribly wrong.
Down.
That one?
Out of all of them so far.
Well, that's kind of it for next week. Want to do Old Dog?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do some Old
And
Dog.
it's one I actually probably got a chance at getting because it's an Image.
Yeah, it's Image #1. All right. We'll do that. We'll do Old Dog next week. Put it on the thumbnail. All right, brother. Well, be back at same bat place, same bat time next week.
But we're not going to have. But we're going to have same soup time, same soup channel, same soup place because we're doing Superman, not Batman.
Oh, that's right. We're doing Superman next week. All right, brother. Well, as always, it was a pleasure. And we'll see you next week.
Sounds good, my friend. Everybody that came out, thank you guys.